Ladies and gentlemen, we have finally reached peak NACS. Allegedly, a pro player, unbeknownst to his org, faked a power outage and weather reports to postpone a match. The doctored screenshots were visibly fake, leading to the entire team getting disqualified from the event and each player receiving a 2-month ban from ESL. How the hell did this happen?
Before we get started, I want to thank our friends at iBuyPower, the official PC of VCT Americas, for sponsoring this video. Earlier this year, iBuyPower sent us to LA to experience all of the excitement of one of Valorant's biggest events in person. The pros love their iBuyPower PCs, and if you want to work and play like a pro, check out iBuyPower's high-quality pre-built PCs and use our code for some sweet discounts on gaming PCs at ibp.gg/thescore. iBuyPower's back-to-school sale is going on from August 6th to 19th, so head on over to their site for some sweet deals. And yes, because I know you're wondering, both discounts stack. Now let's get back into today's episode of Don't At Me.
In the morning of July 30th, Dust2 reported that CS2 team Perseverance Gaming was disqualified from ESL Challengers League Season 48 because the team, quote, falsified a request to reschedule a match. This also came on top of a 2-month ban from any and all ESL FAKED events for each player on the team. A pretty substantial punishment handed down by ESL, and that was pretty much all we knew about the situation, which left a lot of questions. How the hell does someone falsify a request to reschedule a match? What does that even mean? Well, later that same day, streamer Flom, whose team Mythic was supposed to be the ones facing Perseverance in said match, alleged that the team lied about power outages in an attempt to postpone. And thankfully, the original reporter from Dust2 did a follow-up investigation and discovered just how crazy this shit was. So, on July 18th, Canadian org Perseverance was set to face off against Mythic, another NA org that also includes large streamers like Cooper and Freakazoid on top of the already mentioned Flom. In a follow-up to his original response on Twitter, Flom said that they were given a 24-hour notice that their opponents might have to reschedule due to a power outage, later revealed by Dust2 to be happening at Perseverance player Shutout's home in Delaware. Which, if the case, I would consider pretty understandable. As someone who recently went without power for over 31 hours, shit like this just happens. Now, in order to get approval for this last-minute rescheduling, Shutdown sent evidence to an admin named Osodank on Discord. A trusted source then sent Dust2 screenshots of this exchange between Shutdown and Osodank. It appeared to include the weather forecast for his area, as well as a service alert text message from a power company saying that they were at risk to power outages the day of the match due to rain and flooding. Seems pretty reasonable, right? Listen, 24-hour notice isn't a lot of time, and maybe you have a harsher opinion than I do, but whether it did get rescheduled or not doesn't make it an actual story, right? Except those screenshots were all faked, or at least orchestrated to deceive the admin. Issue number 1, in the so-called service alert that Shutout received from his quote-unquote power company, the word experience is spelt wrong. Now, while spelling and grammar can be an issue we all deal with, according to Dust2's source, the text itself was allegedly sent by another player on the team, Gabe. Dust2 tried to call that number to no avail, but the source said they have texted Gabe multiple times using that number, and when you look it up, it's tied to his full name. So we are currently 0 for 2 for these boys. Dust2 did even more digging into the Apple weather radar that was posted by Shutout, and discovered that the surrounding areas received less than an inch of rain during that time, and winds that would never be considered extreme, let alone lead to power outages. So as Dust2 and ESL sussed out, not only did these guys lie about a power outage to try and get out of a match, but they created a bunch of fake shit to try and back it up. The question is why, and who exactly on the team was involved? Well, those same sources in the investigation alleged that all of this was done so that Perseverance would be able to play that series with their new member, Noons, who almost a week later was announced to be replacing member Zaylor. But as a result of them lying and getting caught, each member of the team was disqualified and handed a 2-month ban, including Noons, who technically wasn't on the team yet. What's even crazier is that the org itself, Perseverance, released a statement alleging that they had no idea the players were doing this, and that effective immediately, they were dropping the entire roster. The statement continues, saying that this decision was a complete lack of integrity, which the org wants to distance themselves from, since they are attempting to build a healthy and strong NACS scene, which it seems like Perseverance are legitimately attempting to do. I mean, they are in the works to do a 100K LAN here in Toronto. They said that this recent event won't get in the way of it, and I really hope it doesn't. So it's looking like the players went behind the org's back to do this. Now, which players were involved, That's hard to say. I reached out to players and members of the organization, but only received one response from the CEO of Perseverance, Kiki, who didn't want to comment, but reiterated that they were completely blindsided by this entire revelation. This is a shitty thing to do to an org that puts their trust in you as a player. Even shittier if not all the players on the team were involved in this scheme, since they could have thrown a wrench into innocent people's careers. For now, that's all we know about the story, so the only question left is whether or not these punishments were fitting of the crime. Yes, they not only lied, but tried to trick an admin, so there definitely needs to be consequences. But a 2-month ban is going to result in these players missing out on a lot of events, including Challengers Katowice and IEM Rio. So, do you agree with the ruling? Are you surprised that NA is back to its old tricks? I mean, things were going so smoothly recently. We were finally back as a region. And then this random team decides to fake a regional emergency to get out of playing Flom. You cannot make this shit up. I do think it's funny if they were all involved, like the whole team, all the players were, and they were just on like Apple weather, trying to see who had the worst weather. Cause like he did get rain. It just wasn't a lot of rain. So they're just looking, he's like, oh, clear skies for me. It can't be me. He's gotta go to you.